Hi, my name is Jennifer Oishi, and I will be presenting the second half of Chapter 6, which is titled Improving Group Climate, and this encompasses pages 139 to 144. So my portion of this chapter has to deal with communication networks. So I'll be basically going over the different types of communication networks and the pros and cons, the different ways to identify each. So communication network is a pattern of interaction within a group. So within a meeting or within like a study group or any type of group setting, it basically is dealing with who talks to who within that group setting. So the first one that I'd like to discuss is equal distribution of communication. So communication in this setting is distributed equally among group members. The second is communication addressed to a leader. So this is where members address most of their comments to a central person. The person could be an appointed leader or a chairperson. Other patterns in communication are circular patterns, which is when you're speaking to the people around you, and linear patterns is a more of a chain reaction type of communication. So all of these types of communications have their pros and cons. The one that's probably the most effective would be where it's equal. So the equal distribution of communication will always be the most effective in terms of cohesion and a better understanding of the group goals, making sure that they're all on the same page. The other forms tend to be less effective in making sure that everybody's in agreement in terms of the group's judgments and the group's goals. Group size plays a factor also in communication within groups. So there's differences with face-to-face and virtual types of group settings. So face-to-face settings is probably the most affected by the group size. So when there's more group members, it's harder to really have everybody participate at the same level and voice their opinions. And when it's a virtual meeting or setting, it's a little bit easier to make sure that everybody has a chance to participate and voice their opinions. Now, there's no actual set number in terms of optimal group size. It'll depend, I guess, on the individuals within the group. Some pros and cons in regards to group size. The larger the group, obviously there's going to be there's possibility for disagreements or differences in terms of backgrounds, culture, behaviors, and so there's a lot more. It opens you up to a lot more possible conflict. But there are pros to a larger group. So the more people you have within the group, the more ideas that they bring to the table, the more diverse the conversation becomes, and it's it could lead to better judgments within the group. Group climate and productivity. So I've listed some things that are pretty important in terms of positive group climate and a good pace in terms of productivity. So when the climate is free and open in terms of communication, people are able to share their ideas and concerns. The judgments are more shared amongst the group members. So there's a positive correlation also within the group climate and productivity in terms of good, strong working norms and cohesiveness. So the stronger the work norms are, stronger the cohesiveness is, obviously the more positive the group climate will be, and productivity will be at its maximum. Trust obviously is another big factor. So in terms of network communication, trust, you need to be able to trust that your group members will be able to fulfill their duties. So you won't need to constantly follow up with them to make sure that they're doing what they're doing. You can just rely in the fact that they'll get their portion done. It helps with time management and all of that. So also disagreement in terms of network communication doesn't have to be negative. It could be a good sign in terms of the group members feeling comfortable with the other group members. They can voice their disagreements and not feel that they'll be judged, or their disagreement will be taken constructively. So, all of these factors that I just spoke about, the free and open communication, strong work norms, cohesiveness, trust, positive disagreement, it all leads back to personal commitment within the group. So when somebody is personally vested within the group, it leads to a much more positive outlook in terms of sharing in the group goals. So, personal commitment, it's like a driving force. And, the more personal commitment from each member, the more powerful the group actually becomes, and the more that they can get done in terms of the actual goal or other goals that the group would need to tackle. So overall, these would be pretty important. And if a group does contain all of these, then most likely the group climate and productivity will be really good. So that's chapter 6 in a nutshell. Thanks for watching, and thanks.